Valstrax, he goes very fast, but avast! Why did I just go straight pirate? I be Valstrax, the rocket-powered Elder Dragon, and I not be walking the plank, mateys, I be flying above it. I just forget all of that, and maybe I should actually script videos. Nah. So, Valstrax in the New World. Check this out. Notice the vigor wasp underneath. No, don't get excited, calm down, cool your jets, as it were. This is just from the 15th anniversary event, and all the flagships got one. It's just a neat little way of showing them off. It is nothing more than that, but it is quite fun to think about, is it not? And think about it I have, hence why we're here talking and thinking about it. And one thing I will say from said 15th anniversary event that did add new little lore droplets for us to suckle on, should not have phrased it like that. Valstrax very much has a hunger, a need for bioenergy, as all Elder Dragons do. It's what lets them use their off-worldly powers, but Valstrax, you can see, really is quite greedy for the stuff, since he essentially is a jet engine powered by dragon element, powered by his bioenergy. And where is there a concentrated, absolutely delicacy level source of bioenergy? Well, the New World, the Everstream, the Elder's Recess, and really everywhere is overflowing with the stuff. It's one of the main story points of the entire World and Iceborne experience. So, for a monster that is of that disposition and also has the ability to go literally anywhere faster than the speed of sound, because he is the fastest fast that ever did fast, if you don't count Kirin, because, well, you should count Kirin, because Kirin can move the fastest of all the monsters, hundreds of meters in a literal eye blink, but for general traveling, Valstrax is the fastest. Fuck you, Kirin! So, to say that this truly nomadic sky comet dragon would not take a little dip, a little visit to the New World is, well, unrealistic to say the least. Not to mention the whole Elders coming there to die. Valstrax would find himself very easily doing that. So our Silver Hawk jet, well, would make a lot of sense. You don't need to justify it that hard at all. You don't need to justify it. There would be no questioning of logistics. Every hunter, upon learning there's a Valstrax somewhere in the New World, would simply just be all like,
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
So that kind of sorts itself out neatly in a nice little package. So really what remains is the fight itself. How worthwhile would that be? Well, a lot of us might very well remember the Valstrax fight quite freshly because, you know, he's the flagship of the most recent game that isn't, well, World and Iceborne. But at the same time, he has so much to gain from the upgrade that every monster gets when they transition to the New World. Just on an aesthetic level, I mean, this would stop being the realm of incredible artwork and start being something that you just see during the fight, and that is just phenomenal. Seeing this monster with reconfigurable wings spin them round, aim his dragon jets at you, and fire literal dragon missiles with the fidelity of the dragon shenanigans that Savage Joe pulls out is just wonderful to imagine. Not to mention essentially everything that he does. How would you not want a dragon that can go literally past the sound barrier in order to slam into the ground and, well, turn you into a red paste where you used to be stood? And the ringing in your ears to temporarily quieten his absolutely incredible theme. Seriously, he has the kind of theme that you can put to anything, no matter how mundane, and it turns it into something completely epic. For example, here is my blue-tongued skink, Nyx, eating a blueberry, right? You know, he's adorable, but, you know, he's just eating a blueberry. But here it is with Valstrax theme. Right? It's magical! Okay, maybe something even more mundane. Here is my tortoise just thinking about eating, well, the same blueberry. Right? It's whatever, but with the Valstrax theme? Okay, you get the point. It would be lovely to hear it remastered in World. It really, really would. Not to mention the shining silver scales. They are incredibly dense to afford it the resistance to the huge amount of stress just while flying. Never mind the speed of sound dive bomb to put Nergies to shame. And they would be glittering in World, the light splattering off them. It would be dazzling. What an incredibly gorgeous animal it would turn out to be. Watching it absorb the air it needs through its chest vent. Its body is a living turbine engine. It is beautifully engineered and it works as thus, and it just is absolutely elegant. The hawk-like face, and he has a few extra back spikes I don't think he really needs, but he would undoubtedly look beautiful when rendered into World, and his fight is something that they can really turn up, because he is fast-paced, he is fast, and in World, for challenges to be well challenging, you need them to be fast-paced. We have so many tools, so ways of outmaneuvering and outplaying monsters that they need to be able to keep up. There is no denying that if Rajang was brought in exactly how he is in the old games, with the same pauses between animations, the same room for punishment, he would have been slaughtered, whereas new Rajang just doesn't stop, and it's what makes him brutal. And you could very much do the same thing to Valstrax. Whether that is a good thing is a whole other discussion, but at the very least he adequately serves the challenging new experience that could come with a title monster update. And in terms of actually hunting him story-wise, well, Valstrax, it's very easy. You can do the whole tracking shenanigans. You can find pieces of him that have fallen off, little shards like you could in the Generations Ultimate, and you could slowly discover him through the zones, through the new worlds, maybe getting to a map just as he takes off, so you can't quite fight him, but you get a glimpse, eventually hounding him down and forcing him into a confrontation, fighting other monsters along the way that have had an encounter with them. They look like dragon burnt, and you're like, whoo, what's going on? They're all messed up, quite easy to take down. We're putting them out in their misery more than anything, culminating in a climactic battle. Tracking down the red comet seen in the sky is a fun little story beat, and also we really need to see the actual in-game version of this, a bit of Nergigante on Valstrax action, which would be phenomenal because we can finally place Valstrax in the kind of power scaling, because to me there's no doubt he's above your basic Elder Dragons like Teostra and Kushala, but I don't think he's that much above them. Honestly, I feel like he would be sort of an equal match for Nergigante, I really, really do. Maybe Nergigante's regeneration pulling him slightly ahead, because he could very much power through all the dragon burns. But at the very least, he would be very much a solid choice to tick all the boxes that a new update needs to have. Very much a fight that works, a storyline that works, and a reasoning for him being there that writes itself. And his equipment would also be really quite good to see. It's always been gorgeous to look at, but what I would kind of like to do with Valstrax, and maybe this would kind of break things, or perhaps make his equipment useless, because depending on how it's tuned, it's a delicate thing, but we've never really had anything Monster Hunter that plays with pure movement speed, right? You can go faster using certain things, like lance charging, but in terms of just running faster, we have the Assassin's Mantle. That's the closest we've come to. So imagine a 3-set or 4-set, and there's also a 2-set, on Valstrax armor that actually has a, like, the longer you sprint in a straight line, the faster you move. You get the actual jets on the back of the armor light up. Obviously with transmog and stuff, that goes away. You just get the effects and not the visuals that you'd need to be actually in the armor to see, but maybe something that actually affects how purely quick your hunter goes with some conditions. Maybe actually hitting a monster at the height of your speed, so sprinting really fast in a straight line at something and, you know, doing your draw attack as a greatsword absolutely clobbers it. That might be niche, it might be silly, but I've always wanted a way to play with actual speed of movement in Monster Hunter, and what better way to do that than with Valstrax in World, where creativity is very much something that they're doing with the armor sets. We really are seeing it. There's a lot of room to play, and even if it ends up being gimmicky, that's what I love, making gimmicky sets good, and certainly a set all about gotta go fast is something I could really get behind. Not to mention that Shara has very similar skeletonness to Valstrax. Obviously, Nergigante does use the Valstrax skeleton, slightly modified, but Shara's actual wing hands, I mean, that's very easy to see converted in to the convertible wings of Valstrax. In fact, even as he uses them, rotating them forward in the stone mode, I mean, that right there is incredibly Valstraxy, and honestly, I think out of all of the options, he's both a flagship, but a powerful, challenging Elder Dragon. That ticks a lot of boxes for the kind of monster they're wanting to add into Iceborne. He is a very strong choice, and he works on so many levels. So yeah, that is my thoughts on Valstrax coming to the new world. It's something I think we really could do with, and something that I would adore to see. Even if he isn't up there as one of my favourite monsters, I do appreciate him. What do you guys think? Anything to add? Anything to get in there? I have done a huge lore video on him for how he actually works properly on the biological level, if you want to check that out. But he just is fantastic. Like you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon. A goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you, even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on, and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.